All right, the next page to show is the suit builder. So similar to the shirt builder, you'll find a lot of similar themes. It's laid out the same way, just with different design options, and I'll try and cover as many of those as I can. To access the suit builder from an existing or new cart, you can click Add Item or click New Cart. Either way, you want to get to this page here. For the purposes of this item, we'll do a 3-piece suit, but if you choose a jacket, it'll just be the jacket builder. Pants, it'll just be the pants builder. Waistcoat, just the waistcoat builder. And then a 3-piece combines all three. Same idea as the shirt. You name it whatever you want. Hit enter. Wait for it to load. And then enter the fabric number that you want to use. Click Please Select, and then move forward to Style. Style has a couple of important ones. It is the button number, it is the button orientation on the first click, so that's what you're choosing here with the main selection, and then the advanced options include the interior construction, the shoulder construction, and whether the buttons cover the left, or the left panel covers the right panel. So for women's jackets, they'd be reversed. By default, it's for a men's jacket, which is left covers right. So right covers left is at no. But if you're making a ladies jacket, you'll want to click yes for this drop down. At the top here, you'll want to choose half, full, or unstructured. Your account can choose one of these by default. Same with the shoulder style. Moving on to lapel, similar function to the other builder steps. Choose your lapel shape by selecting one of these circles. Click the advanced options to determine the width, the gorge height, pick stitching or buttonholes, and so not just whether there is pick stitching, but the locations and the style of the pick stitching. And the same goes for the buttonholes. Moving on to vents, there's no advanced options for vents. It's just these 6 options, and you'll pick from them based on the picture: single, double, double with lining strap, no vent, or a couple more sporty ones with back belts. Sleeve buttons also doesn't have advanced options. However, there's 2 sections to it. So if you notice there's a scroll bar, it's in your best interest to scroll. Make sure you don't miss anything. So choose the number of buttons and the orientation of the buttons. So it can be 4 normal or 4 kissing. And then whether or not they are functional buttons. Next section is pockets, which has 3 sections to it, but no advanced options. So you'll see the various pocket options. We'll leave it as the default, which is straight and single without ticket pocket. All of our pockets by default will come with the flap unless you choose otherwise. If you like both the flap and the no flap look, opening the pocket and tucking the flap in will give it the same look as a no flap look. So if you want both, then do the flap option. Chest pocket, straightforward, choose the one based on the picture. Puff pocket, you can choose a lining fabric to be the inside lining of the pocket on the chest, which you can then flip out as a pocket square. It's just drop down menu, choose the pocket lining that you want. Undercollar, choose the undercollar fabric that you'd like from this list with their previews in the small orb here. Contrast functions exactly the same way as the shirt contrast. Choose your fabric first. Most of the time it's for tuxedos for a suit. So we'll choose, we'll choose one, add it here, and then choose the location of it. So lower lapel, pockets. You can choose any of these as well, gauntlet cuff, and so forth. Remember, it's click the location, then click the fabric, and check that it worked by verifying that the number is below the orb. Buttons function exactly the same way as shirts. You can either search for your code or you can scroll to find it. Click on your button. The one thing that's interesting about the suit builder, if you do have a jacket, a trouser, and a waistcoat, choosing the button on the jacket will choose the same button for all 3 by default. However, you can then go and change the button. So I've chosen this button here, this light blue one. If I go to the vest next, or the pants next rather, it'll also have the light blue button, but I can then change it. It won't go back and change the jacket one, so they're not forced to be the same, but it will change all of them by default. So if you forget, at least they'll all match. Thread contrasting functions the same way as for shirts, probably a little bit more commonly used on jackets, last sleeve buttonhole, lapel buttonholes, and so forth. Lining. The one that's mandatory on this page is lining fabric. Shape lining has a default option selected. Sleeve lining, tailor's choice will be a striped lining. You don't need to choose one of these, but you can. And then piping, you don't need to choose one again, but you can. Just only choose solid colored ones. Any of the patterned ones won't work. The maker will tell you that you can't do it, and you'll need to choose a solid one. Just scroll from the list of linings that you like and select it in the dropdown. Monogram functions exactly the same way as the shirt monogram builder. You just have more space for characters, so I can write my full name instead of just my initials. You can choose the location, again, by clicking the checkbox here. Make sure you choose your font and a color. Moving on to trousers, you can hit pants, and it'll move on. You'll notice previews of each option that you're choosing. So to choose your pockets, choose the one based on the picture here. And then when you click the back pockets one, it changes the previews to back pockets, so you can choose your style there. And then various watch pockets as well. For style, that's to do with darts or pleats in the front of the trouser, or whether or not there's no crease. And then in the advanced options for style, you can, but you don't have to. You can choose to change the lining style and what fabric is on the inside of the pockets of your trouser. You can put a shirt fabric on the inner waistband and the inner pockets of your trouser if you'd like. Cuff style is straightforward. Choose the one that you like based on the picture. Same for fastener and fly. The advanced options for fastener and fly do have some relevant ones though. However, it includes removing the belt loops, it includes an elastic waistband, and it includes suspender buttons and crotch reinforcement. So often people are choosing these ones, or to remove the belt loops and add side tabs. It's just a matter of clicking the ones that you'd like. And if you want these reverse buttoned, same as with shirts or jackets, you can just click here. Pick stitching on the trouser, there are 4 options to choose from with a brief description below the image. Choose the one that you like based on that. Contrast functions exactly the same way as contrast on any other builder. We add our fabric, choose one of these tabs, choose the location, click our fabric. Click location, click the fabric. Monogram. The only monogram options for trouser are the heel guards, left and right, but they function the same way. To enter the monogram that you want, choose the font, pick your color, you're golden. Buttons and thread will function the same way as the other builders. See what I meant about choosing the light blue button by default if you chose it on the jacket? I can then go and change this, and it'll only change the trouser button choice, not the other ones. Jacket and the vest will still be the blue one. Thread contrasting options are as displayed in the images. Lastly, we have the waistcoat in a suit builder. Okay, first thing to choose is similar to the jacket. You choose the style, which is the button orientation and the button number. Note that double-breasted vests have a flat front, single-breasted vests have points. It means you'll measure the front length differently. You can also choose reverse buttoning options here. Whether or not you want a lapel on the vest, you can choose that. You can choose the opening shape as well as whether or not there's a lapel and a collar. And in the advanced options, you'll find lapel buttonholes or pick stitching. Pockets, you can choose your lower pockets, and then you hit advanced options to choose your chest pockets based on the image and the description. Undercollar, only choose one of these if you chose an undercollar or chose a collar on your vest, but you can choose the undercollar fabric just like you can with the jacket. Contrast functions the same way as the other ones. The only thing that's a little tricky is this section here, back. You can't put a lining in this section. You do that somewhere else. If you wanted to make the back of your vest a different suit fabric from the front, then you'd use this option here. Normally, this is just for tuxedos, however. if you wanted to do the pockets contrasted. The back section is where you would put a lining fabric on the back. By default, our vests are ordered with the same fabric on the front and the back. If you wanted to choose a lining for the back of the vest, you select it here in this drop-down menu and find the one you like and click it, and it'll change the back vest of the vest. Moving on to buttons. Again, we noticed that our button didn't change from the default that we chose with the jacket, just because we changed the shirt one, the trouser one, but we can then change this one if we'd like to. Choose the skull button. Now this one will have the skull, the trouser will be the red, and the jacket will be the light blue. Contrasting threads works the same way as the other sections, or as the other equivalent sections. Just in the drop-down menu, choose the thread that you'd like. Lining for the vest is also where you enter the monogram for the vest. Since there's only one location, that section is already chosen for you. So you type in name or the monogram that you want to put there and the color. In the inside lining section, this is where you choose the inner lining of the vest. So you won't choose the outer lining or the back lining if that's something that you wanted. You just choose the inner lining, as well as the piping if that's something you'd like. Remember, you can only choose solid colors for piping. Summary page will show you the summary for the item that you're last working on. So this will only show the vest summary, but it will again show you the fabric stock if it's available. So this is a good page to check to avoid back orders. That is all for the suit builder. When you hit the cart button, it'll add the cart to the suit to the cart. One thing that's notable about this page as well, I guess this probably belongs more on the cart page, but I'll mention it now because it just came up. This little red triangle tells you that there's information missing, and it tells you what information is missing. So if I don't have measurements for a vest in my profile, so it tells me that it's missing that. As well, I didn't select a lining fabric for the vest, so it tells me that I need to do that. You can then click the resolve button and it'll bring you to that tab. That's all for the suit builder.